I don't really know the whole TikTok drama scene. Look, I rotate all my drama to either Twitter or YouTube. But this came to my attention. I was given this video before I did that Kami Lami video talking about what's her face? The girl in this video, Charlie D'Amelio. Was that get the fuck out? Charlie D'Amelio, yeah, because he was going to overtake her, and well, we already talked about that video, and I was given this. I was like, wait, this person seems familiar, so I had to look back in my archive of videos. Because, I used to. I do a lot of my videos about games and shit, but I get kind of bored of that. And sometimes I just do videos off the cuff. So let's talk about this off the cuff video, shall we?
How far can pretty privilege get you?
TikTok star Charlie D'Amelio.
Charlie D'Amelio.
Charlie D'Amelio.
Charlie D'Amelio.
I was like, that's it, I'm famous. Don't talk to me.
Hi guys, it's Charlie and I'm super excited to be sharing with you my first ever YouTube video on my YouTube channel. Ow.
So, off the bat, okay. Pretty girl, pretty face. I'm honestly not surprised. She's playing again. Sometimes it's bad to talk about this, right? Especially if you're an ugly motherfucker like me. But hey, some things are just the way they are. Obviously, pretty girls going to get many. It's why that Hawk Tuah girl is probably one of the biggest podcasts, despite them not really talking about anything. And if anyone else was in her situation that wasn't as pretty as she was, they wouldn't be as popular.
YouTube video.
But I think that's the thing with chasing a trend, particularly.
On my YouTube channel. Ow.
If there was one person who saved the universe in their past life, it must be Charlie D'Amelio because she was dealt with everything anyone could ever ask to be successful. A virally beautiful face and body, every opportunity in Hollywood, commercial, okay boomer, the top talent agency in the industry, a book deal, a reality TV show, a clothing line, a makeup line, a record deal. But somehow, there is still a way to mess everything up.
And again, I have no problem with that. I mean, people become famous and want to ride their success in many other things based off, I don't know, pretty face and dancing. Like, I don't care, right? Again, once you start moralizing and judging people and not staying in your own fucking lane, that's when I start to care. But if you can resist the urge to do that, well, make your money, bitch. I don't give a shit.
Really need to admit this to you guys.
Wait, didn't she have a reality show? I just absolutely blew out your fucking eardrums. I was like, yeah, didn't she have her own? Because I remember that scene. It was at that odd state where everything had to be a reality TV show, but I think this wasn't that long ago. If we're talking 2018, 2019.
A way to mess everything up.
Just really need to admit this to you guys. I actually do have nipples, and I mean that's all that I can say about this right now.
So how did the D'Amelios screw up more than $32 million worth of pretty privilege? That's exactly the mystery we're going to uncover today. But not only that, as your marketing bestie, who graduated top 1% UCLA Business Economics with a background in marketing, we are going to explore how pretty privilege can still fail you if you have a terrible brand, and how you, yes you, no matter if you have pretty privilege or not, can build a successful brand to help you down your career. And by brand,
yeah, I think, okay, how do you destroy that? I guess moralization, being genuinely unlikable, maybe. Because I guess in her case, her face and her prettiness is her brand. But I think it was that reality TV show. I need to stop pausing and
And
thinking.
I don't just mean slapping your name or face on a t-shirt. Branding is about how your future college, future boss, future boyfriend sees you. And I'm creating this series to analyze celebrities from a marketing perspective because many of whom do not recognize the power of influence they have over a generation of young girls.
Yeah, like Taylor Swift is a cultural phenomenon. I guarantee you, if you shit on Taylor Swift, and if a Swiftie knows where you live, they'll send a Swiftie looking pipe bomb to your fucking house, right? Like, they are absolutely, and I don't understand, right? I guess before me is like Michael Jackson. And I guess growing up, you had Justin Bieber. But who all was an actual cultural phenomenon other than Michael Jackson or Taylor Swift? I like DJ Khaled. He's my fucking homie. I don't know. But yeah, the influence is almost scary. But it makes sense. I mean, if you're a stupid fucking 12-year-old girl and you're fucking retarded, right, because you're 12, I mean, yeah, you're going to look at these icons and try to emulate them, even though they're probably a bunch of weirdos. What in the fuck?
I really don't want to work anymore.
And I think it's so important to be aware and reflective of the people who are shaping our culture. And despite how terribly the D'Amelio franchise flopped, we will also talk about how they could come back from the lack of brand and the hate they always cry about.
I'm upset because I haven't been in any drama.
First, we need to understand how the D'Amelios had every single chance to build a billion-dollar empire. Charli D'Amelio, for those who have never heard of a small app called TikTok, good for you, is a Connecticut high schooler who is not a Nepo baby, an Instagram heiress, or a self-made artist. She started creating dance videos on TikTok in 2019 that quickly broke the platform and the Guinness World Record as the first person with 50 million followers on TikTok in April 2020, then 100 million in November 2020. The entire internet and Charli herself was dumbfounded by this success because while Charli was a dancer, many have claimed her dances to be mediocre. Surely it can't be that people are shallow and that the TikTok algorithm prefers a pretty face, right? Not possible at all.
Yes.
Of course, Renegade became
Obviously it does. I mean, because again, when the algorithm became a thing in tech, obviously, like, you'd think it'd push the most popular things, but it's kind of yes and no. It's like, okay, what drives popularity? And again, if you're a TikTok brain-rotted normie who just looks for a pretty face, I guess I can see why people are into her.
the Charli D'Amelio dance because she did it so much better than the original choreographer. And of course, the reason Dixie D'Amelio, Charli's sister, began blowing up too was that her natural talents blew the platform away. All in all, some people are born on the right side of the beauty algorithm and beauty standard, and they should embrace it. But as the sisters are dealing with this
Again, you're marketing yourself. You're effectively selling yourself. You gotta be probably effectively the best salesman. Only you're not selling something else. You're selling your brand image, right?
life-changing fame, which in this day means power, which means money, their parents and new team saw a pot of gold. How exciting! There is so much possibility when the hype is only rising for the girls. They were seen as the model citizens of TikTok and basically had the attention of every teenage girl in the nation. There was so much potential here for them to grow into the icons and
I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard of her outside of when someone sent me the video when I looked at the title. I'm like, okay, who is that? But then the whole Kami Lami thing with him passing her up, which was the first time I ever heard. Well, no, I didn't. I knew of Kami Lami, but that was the second time I've heard of her, and then on to here. Now I'm feeling like I'm the out of touch one because growing up, I was big on the internet space, right? When we first got them goddamn netbooks from high school, and even a little before then, had our phones. So I was in the know, right? Other than outside of playing games, but now I'm absolutely disconnected because I guess that's because trends change so frequently, almost monthly. Like, okay, with how slow information was, when you had a trend, it was milked for a good half a year, right? You even had multiple trends, multiple things within a thing. But now it's almost every week we jump from one thing to another thing. Maybe something big comes out, but then something else comes out, and it's just that extra serotonin and dopamine of chasing the trend.
role models for the next generation of young girls. But no, the D'Amelio parents said, heck, we are the new Kardashians. And if you're the Kardashians, then being hot is all you need to build a successful business, right? And so what happened next was a big, impressive list of business ventures. But if you take a closer look, you'll start to realize that each is very mid, and that the team behind them is not just uncreative, but literally throwing random shit at the wall and hoping that one will stick.
Wow.
And that's fine. It's like no one really knows the brand and knows the marketing unless you're into it. But again, trying to be, the next Kardashians, like that. Those are some pretty big shoes to fill. I know the Kardashians were, the reality TV phenomenon for a long bit, and everyone tried to fucking emulate their ass. Kim Kardashian was my wifey at the time, but I don't know, trying to fill those big shoes, like I don't think that's something they really need to do. Or, okay, I guess it just seems fake.
So what this is it's a look at your 2021. This is the major things we're focusing on. So we have all partnerships. We have, the different companies you're working with, like, ring lights and starting a clothing company. So, and then you have books and TV shows.
The list is so big, we need to first look at physical products and then their digital appearances that led to the ultimate downfalls. From 2020 to 2023 alone, they had their makeup line with Morphe, not exactly a hit, then a collaboration drink with Dunkin' Donuts, a fragrance line, a nail polish collection, a mattress, a footwear brand, a skincare brand, a popcorn brand, where I don't know which creative genius idea it was to tell the D'Amelios to dress up as Walmart employees in order to promote this relatable, fun brand. And all they did was to mock the working class where labor was only a fun activity for them. And being so incredibly talented while launching back to back businesses, Charli D'Amelio of course had the time to write a book in 2020 called Essentially Charli, The Ultimate Guide to Keeping It Real, which became a New York Times bestseller. If there was an award for launching,
yeah, that just stinks of connections and privilege and success and fakeness, in my opinion, in my eyes. But that's just my humble opinion. I mean, again, what's a good example of someone who's just who they are regardless of what they do? Like Christopher Judge, who played Teal'c in Stargate, and I think he voices Kratos in God of War, is just legitimately a cool dude. And I know in one of the situations he roasted Activision's game, right? I think it was the Game Awards, right? And he just seems like a genuinely wholesome dude. Like, and we don't have a lot of male role models, or at least they're growing old and dying, and no one thinks we need to really fill the gap for some reason. I guess Keanu Reeves. Yeah, people like Keanu Reeves. My thing is, again, he's old. Who else? Ryan Gosling, but he got popular off of the Barbie movie, and ever since then, and I heard there was something with Deadpool and the Hulk, the actress that plays the Hulk, and she wanted to lecture the people about privilege and all this, and Ryan Gosling was like, "Get your bitch ass out my fucking face with that goofy ass shit." But yeah, and he played Deadpool, like, again, but like when I grew up, there were many, right? You had Eminem, you had fucking I can't even really think of anybody. Fucking DJ Khaled. Fuck Lil Wayne. If you read of all the things he's done, you know, to help, you know, poor and black communities, right? You know, Morgan Freeman. Like, it's like, you didn't know and or care the politics of these actors because they did their job, and they shut the fuck up. Right? Nowadays, you need to have a political stance on everything. You need everyone to know where you stand on any type of politics. And if you don't have the right politics, you get Gina Carano'd and pushed the fuck out because they're all for female empowerment, unless you're a female that don't believe the same thing, the things that they want you to. If you don't conform to the stereotypes they impose on you, then miraculously you get ousted, right? But no, I think we need to go back to that point where we don't know and or care the politics of the actor.
The most number of unmemorable businesses, the D'Amelios probably would have won. That's my laundry.
See, mine doesn't even make that sound. Mine makes the sound whenever I'm doing my laundry, right? And you can kind of maybe hear it in maybe one of my videos, like this ear-wrenching fucking sound.
Being finished? If I didn't tell you, you probably don't even know half of these brands existed, and some of them deceased. Because honestly, by the speed that these products were launched immediately following the blow up, there is just no way that they were developed with care and passion from Charlie and Dixie. These brands have no connection with them. Like, why shoes? Why popcorn? Why mattress? It's just slapping the D'Amelio label on a bunch of consumer goods that are very mid themselves.
D'Amelio?
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? They think TikTok popularity means something. Maybe you get money from it, but again, most people that browse TikTok do it for the dopamine. They don't actually form connections with the people they watch. Again, you're watching 15, 20, 10-second videos, and you're just flipping through them over and over for that dopamine rush. Like, you wouldn't feel, like, we didn't have this for, like, YouTube. Like, and PewDiePie is a perfect role model, right? Like, it formed an somewhat odd parasocial, but it's just refreshing knowing, oh, hey, someone who grew up similar to me, you know, played games like me, was kind of weird, ended up just being successful off of it. Same thing with, like, Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, right? I'd say they're good role models, even though I don't really watch many of them anymore. But yeah, I mean, people on TikTok like don't have form really that same connection than you do to people on like YouTube.
Footwear is recommended by doctors to treat broken ankles. Don't say, you can't say that.
I don't care if you like the Kardashians or Hailey Bieber. Yes, they also launched and flopped brands, but the brands that we will remember and rave about are the brands that they care about and rave about themselves. Kim Kardashian is known for her iconic body, so what does she launch? Skims, a shapewear company that has quality products that could sell even on their own. Kylie Jenner, known for her lips, so Mama Kris got her to launch Kylie Cosmetics. Hailey Bieber, the woman is constantly showing her glowy skin, and each launch is super creative and tied to her personally. Emma Chamberlain, vlogged with coffee for 4 years. It just makes so much sense to have a coffee company, and she has killer creatives. Alex Earl's merch, very on brand with her personality. The fact that you don't even know the name of the quote-unquote brands launched by the D'Amelios shows you how disconnected they are from these brands. And it is so funny to read Charli D'Amelio's brand inspiration for the shoes as, quote, "We are always in
Yeah, I mean, they're the face of their brand and they ride that bitch home. Whereas I guess D'Amelio, right? She chased all these brands just because they're like, oh hey, we like your name on it. And she was like, oh yeah, sure. And she did it, probably got paid, but no one really knows what the brand is.
heels, we are walking carpets, we've done all the uncomfortable blister-filled shoes before. So it's been really nice to be able to look into our closets and see, what are we missing and what do we have that we can make better. Clearly extremely relatable to their teenage girl fan base who walk in heels and go to carpets all day. And clearly the dream shoes for the teenage boys who follow them because of their hotness.
I love you so much. We love you so much.
Charli, let's go.
I love you, Charli, to go.
It's crazy how their entire marketing team never gave a single thought to who the targeted demographic is, because it is not women in their 20s and 30s with actual purchasing power who will want to wear these hot pink or electric blue pumps to work, which is probably a hard concept for the D'Amelio sisters to grasp because they never had to work a single day since they had enough money to do whatever they want since 17. And at this point, it is apparent that the main issue is the D'Amelios don't know why people follow them. And frankly, it is hard to answer that question, as many still
No, it's really not. Again, if you understand the landscape of TikTok, the time period TikTok came out, and the type of people who use it and how they interact with it. Again, they're popular because pretty face, 20-second videos. It's this Tommy Lamy situation all over again, right? The type of people who watch them probably follow like 30, 40, 50 other people just so they can have that stream of different dopamine levels as they watch their 15-second video, and it flips through them to the next one, and it flips to the next one, right? I guarantee you, again, if people were to just watch D'Amelio straight up, they'd get tired of her. But again, that's not how people interact with TikTok. Like, people who interact with YouTube, right? You have your maybe 4 or 5 YouTubers that you subscribe to and watch every single video that comes out of them. Or you have, or an extra, 4 or 5 that, you may not watch any, like, for a long time videos that they come out with, unless you're just binge watching them, right? I mean, again, 2 completely different types of people who consume 2 completely different types of media 2 completely different ways.
Only know Charli D'Amelio as a famous TikToker who dances and not much more. Surely, digital appearances should help, right? On the personal branding side, although it seems like the D'Amelio family has done so much since Charli became famous on TikTok, everything they worked on somehow only made them less and less relevant and less likable. Don't get me wrong, I respect the hustle of the family, where they really tried to emulate the Kardashian grind and did everything possible to stay relevant. But they did not understand the full price of monetizing your family and what it truly takes for a family to become a money printing machine like the Kardashian clan. Either their team is very lazy or has no creativity. Since blowing up, the D'Amelios launched a podcast because every other influencer under the sun did, called Two Chicks Podcast. They made a total of 27 episodes before asking the question, is this what the girls actually want to do? And do they have...
Yeah, I guess. Oh, chasing trends. That's why the Hot Tua girl is doing this. But to her credit, I think she's the top podcast on Spotify. But, it's just this hell. I need to start fucking podcast with someone, and we're gonna get like 5 whole motherfuckers probably. But most people that start podcasts, like, they have a brand, either they're YouTubers or they're influencers or politicians, right? They already have a following, and that following is just fleeced onto that podcast. There's very few cases of people just coming out of fucking nowhere like the Hot Tua girl. But again, trend chasing is always cringe, and people can tell if you're chasing a trend. And again, if it's something you gotta do, just fucking own up to it.
have anything to talk about. Dixie began doing music, and so did Charli. They had their family YouTube channel, which had a lot of backlash since the first episode, where the girls were seen as extremely rude and in spite of a private chef made meal. Dixie threw it up in front of everyone, and Charli said it's better to get dino nuggets.
Sometimes happens when...
Okay. So they're unlikable.
Do we have any dino nuggets?
At this point, the D'Amelio brand was already out of touch with their audiences, who likely don't live in a large mansion with private chefs, but that's okay. They don't have to build a relatable brand. If they want to be more aspirational like Taylor Swift or Billie Eilish, they could keep their mystique and stop doing the mediocre family content. But no, the team behind the D'Amelios wanted them to be the Kardashians and put them on a reality TV show even after the YouTube family channel backlash.
So their team, as in like their parents, that are, I guess, farming them for their content. And don't get me wrong, motherfucker, I do the same thing, and I tell the little motherfucker, hey, we getting out this hood, and you are our way out. The only exception, at least for me, is when they turn 18, right? Or, were they 18? I think they were 17 when they started. But it's like, when they turn 18, right, I'd be like, okay, you know, this is your shit now. I'm going to take 10% off the top, which hopefully the little motherfucker will make billions by then. It's like, you either sink or swim this ship, whatever. You're the captain of this ship now.
While they lacked the very essential elements of the Kardashians to be interesting,
oh my god, I'm gonna cry, my diamond
sex tapes, celebrity scandals, divorces, pregnancies, the D'Amelios are just too normal and unproblematic compared to other celebrities. The biggest drama they could pull is Charli and Dixie hating each other.
No, I think it's so cute that you riding on my coattails like really worked out for you. No, I mean like that was your whole life. I mean 2 years compared to 18 is like really different. Yeah.
And I see this with like the VTubers and like the corporate VTubing space. It's like, I hate this because when you know they hate each other, but when they're collabing, they have to act like they like each other. It really just ruins the magic. Like, I hate the fact that I'm kind of getting glimpses inside the VTubing space. Because I wanted it to just be the fucking anime waifus that just play games, go aura, and I don't know, shake their titties. It then you find out, oh, it's not really like that. It's almost this same situation, only they have an anime avatar, right? And the drama behind the scenes with them. But hey, I guess the VTubers are becoming the new celebrities now. Like, Gargora did sing at one of the football games, right? And that should be a Disney character, but because Disney is shitting the bed, like any Western entertainment shitting the bed, I mean, hey, I hate it, but it's the way things gotta be.
Which is so hard to watch because it's not authentic.
I was caught off guard and then expected to be like, oh my god, this is so perfect. You know what? Why don't you put this song on my album and we could do it together?
And probably did damage their relationship as a family.
What the hell just happened? Like, I thought you were the only person I could really trust in the world. That's not fair to me. So how are we supposed to live with each other anymore?
In addition, the fact that almost every single episode was about the sisters facing hate from people on the internet due to their massive following and massive presence online is...
Yeah, it's like, oh god, a multi-millionaire and their multi-millionaire problems. It's like, look, you know, I guess you face different issues, but you can't convince a complete fucking stranger that you, someone who doesn't actually work a day in your life, that has all the money, can literally buy your way out of issues. You know, you can't convince someone who actually works for a living, a 9 to 5, or works a 10 hours, 12 hour shifts to give a shit, right? It's like, oh, you want some French fries with that, right? You want to call the ambulance. You know, someone that at any point in time they can become disabled or lose their house or lose a family member because they actually got to work and they're in the trenches with 5 inches, right? It's like, you can't convince that type of person that you, the multi-millionaire, have it hard. So again, this is why people should just stay in their own fucking lanes, right? And again, I doubt that the 9 to 5 cares to convince the millionaire, but I mean, again, people need to just stay in their fucking lane, but nobody can do that.
Very jarring for the audience. Not saying that the hate they're dealing with is not valid or important, but to their viewers who don't understand a life of never needing to work since 17, having the luxury of time to cry repeatedly in a mansion and complain is very off-putting, where there's a lack of awareness of privilege. The biggest challenge they have to face in life is the hate that come from having hundreds of millions of followers, where many cannot even afford a roof over their heads and have to stress about where the next meal is. The impression of Charli and Dixie not being appreciative of the capital, money, and power they have is not only unrelatable, but also unlikable. And if they're building brands after brands after brands that depend on their personal brand and people liking them, then if people don't like them, then of course the brands they release every few months flop. In addition to how each product...
And again, you'll always have people that come after you just because you're successful. Like, there's always that sect of people that see you being successful and for some reason they hate that. Because again, they work that 9 to 5, and again, people put this odd, skewed value on what success is, right? And I try to just be like, okay, well, nowadays, if anything that puts food on your table is a fucking job, maybe people disagree with me, maybe they don't. Again, I don't care to really convince anybody, right? Because at the end of the day, what's important? Well, it's putting that fucking food on your table. You know, that's really, at the end of the day, anyone really cares about, right? So it's better to just not overthink it. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that sect of person. So again, staying in your lane helps a lot.
Has no soul or passion. Since the very start, except for maybe Charli and her dancing, there was not a soul or passion in every project that D'Amelio's touched on.
D'Amelio Footwear is recommended by doctors to treat broken ankle. Don't say, you can't say that.
Not sure if Dixie D'Amelio even wanted to be a TikTok star or singer, while always being overshadowed by Charli.
It's always your time to shine.
When the entire enterprise was born because of the lucky, or perhaps unlucky, pretty privilege without a soulful connection, it is doomed to fail as soon as the halo effect of a pretty face or body gets tiring and loses its shine. All in all, I do think Charli and Dixie are sweet girls and handle way too much pressure from their team and perhaps even their parents, who just want to milk the out of their fame and youth. But like I said before, a brand cannot just be built in one day. And you can't just launch 20 things in 4 years hoping one will stick if you don't have an ounce of passion for any of them. So what does make sense for the D'Amelio brand, and how could they create something sustainable without further decreasing their likability? First, they need to make a very conscious decision of whether they want to be influencers or celebrities, which are two very separate concepts. If they just want to play a role that is aspirational, then don't overexpose themselves by appearing on every show, network possible. Keep the mystique. And if they want to be influencers, they need to be way more self-aware and aware of what is normal outside of their multi-million bubble. Stop pretending that they are just a normal family only worth $32 million in a mansion, and be more respectful towards the audience that they've been cashing out on. And stop contradicting themselves by stop pretending to be dramatic and problematic in their shows for the sake.
Yeah, and again, I guess Asmongold is a perfect example of this because he's a fucking millionaire, but he actually grew up poor, right? You know, and again, people who grew up in struggling situations can really understand this, right? Like, again, you pick your lane and then you unapologetically take that fucking lane and don't let anybody else try to talk down on you. You be like, yeah, I'm a millionaire, so fucking what? Like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, what do you want from me? You know, again, people respect honesty. People respect calluses. People respect you being straightforward with them. Again, people don't respect you acting like, oh, you're part of the normie while being worth 30 million, right? You know, even if it's what people want to see, right? They don't respect it.
Views and just stay true to who they are. And maybe they don't care about music, popcorn, mattress, and that is okay. Which brings up second, they need to stop launching brands. The next brand launch needs to be something so thoughtful and something they absolutely love. Because so much trust has already been lost, they need to let every milliounce of the next product to show that they poured their soul and their heart into it.
Or they can become VTubers. I mean, that's just about it. Become a VTuber.
Maybe they're not.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I don't have, like, there's no argument I'm gonna make from this. Just become a VTuber.
Passionate about anything right now, which is also okay. Do some soul searching first, then develop the product that their audiences actually need. And to be honest, if they don't care about products, they don't need to create one. There is already enough money to be made from working with existing brands that align with them. Third,
and there's enough money to be made by just staying on TikTok, because clearly they're famous. They could ride that. Again, I don't care for people branching out if they have the means, but I mean, sometimes just sticking to your goal, sticking to the originality is what many people want.
Not sure about Dixie, but Charli's initial dream was related to dance, and her going on Dancing with the Stars was a great move. It just aligns so well with who she is at the core. Instead of starting drama just to start drama with Dixie about pursuing singing. Many people initially follow Charli because of the positive energy she brings, and maybe from dance, she could create a product that finally connects with her, that helps solve problems for her as a dancer, like gear that prevents dance injury that could eventually be pushed out to a broader athletic market, or dance athleisure that's extremely durable yet comfortable and cute during practice that could eventually become its own clothing line, instead of popcorn and mattress. With that being said, although times have changed and the D'Amelio sisters are highly unlikely to regain that surreal level of mass attention again, all they need to do is to build a a stronger connection with their existing massive following instead of treating them like cash printing machines to feed soulless products to. And stop doing and saying problematic, offhanded things or complain about their privileges to be further disliked.
I really don't want to work anymore.
Got it.
Pretty privilege can get you far, but cannot last a lifetime. Ultimately, it still comes to good intentions, authenticity, and hard work to build a long-lasting brand, which I do believe the D'Amelio sisters are capable of and can have a rise to their careers again if they choose to use their influence for good impact. That's how to grow real influence instead of a pretty follower account. Let me know your thoughts if you think the D'Amelio brand was a flop or not, and comment below which celebrity you'd like me to analyze next through a marketing perspective. This is your marketing bestie, Zoe Unlimited. Share this video for impact, and I will see you next week.
Yeah, nice video. I mean, I pretty much agree with everything she said. I mean, I do not know about the D'Amelio, but to me, it's just another situation where they fly into fame and their parents are just like, oh, hey, let's capitalize off our kids. So they throw them into as many brand deals as possible, cast a wide net, but then they get diluted in the waters and they forget the original reason why they exist. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't fucking watch these types of goddamn people. Like, fuck. Like, what do you want from me? You want an explanation? You want some fucking argument? Or it's like, I don't fucking care. Fucking dumb bitch. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. Peace.